Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of Intuitive Creator Spotlight. I'm your host, Stella, and today I have a phenomenal guest here with us, Sushmita. She has navigated the twists and turns of life to craft a path on her own. I can't wait for her to share her story with you. Sushmita is a business strategist, a community builder, and a transformative coach. Welcome, Sushmita. How are you? I'm so
I am
excited to have you here.
I am good, and thank you for having me here because like I love being part of conversations, and this is also going to be another one. So looking forward to it, and yeah, excited to like I've seen the previous videos and stuff, and it has been really like fun, amazing conversations, and so I'm curious what questions you have for me.
Oh, yes, I definitely have some really interesting questions for you. And as you're interested in my questions, I'm also interested in everything that you are going to share with us here. So, Sushmita, I know that your journey took a significant turn when you decided to quit your research job and then you decided to pursue your dreams. Can you please share a little bit more about that pivotal moment in your journey and how, it inspired you to start building your own path?
Actually, it's very interesting because, so I'll tell you something. So I'm from India, right? And in India, they say that first you become an engineer and then you actually realize what you truly want to do in your life. And then you start following your passion. So in India, you'll find a lot of engineers, changing their directions or going in different directions once they have completed the engineering. So I'm one of them. I have basically, as a qualification, I am a biotechnologist, and I, like you said, I was in research. So we were in a cancer research institute, and we were doing research on breast cancer. I even have actually written a thesis. Man, that's a lot of work, to be really true. And obviously, I had fun doing that, but that's not my passion. Like, I did it, I loved it, I loved the results I brought in, with the research as well, with the PhD students we were working with. But ultimately, what used to happen when we were, in the research lab, obviously, when you're running tests and when you're doing a lot of experimentation, there's going to be waiting periods, right? And in those waiting periods, I used to sneak in to the library to browse the internet on my laptop to try and find, who I am, what I want to do. I just don't, connect with this direction I have like stepped into. And that's when the actual journey began because I just knew what I'm doing, I'm good at, but I just don't want to do it for my entire life because if I do it, I would be doing it the same way. The moment I get an opportunity to sneak in and do something else, or the moment, so basically, I would have been someone who, just works 9 to 5 on Mondays to Fridays and has a very dull, boring life. But I never saw myself being that person. So then I started initially with what people do or how I can do something of my own. So that's what initially, was my question. But then it actually was very interesting when once I was giving some advice or some ideas to one of my friend because he has his own business to market and get his stuff and get his product out there. And he just tried it out and it worked out very well. And he's like, why don't you do this? Like, you're not happy doing what you do. So why don't you try this, maybe learn this, and understand how, marketing is done and stuff like that. So it initially started with me trying to understand marketing to now, obviously, being in the industry with all the experience. And even like I joined or I actually started as a freelancer more than 10 years ago. And in 10 years, the industry has like literally gone from, I don't know, A to Z, and it's again ready to go back from right now where it is to A to Z again. So, with the AI and all of those things, but all of that has brought us where we are because the more we have, worked and the more we have learned from these adaptations and all the changes in the industry we've been, the more it has actually helped us fall in love with what we do in some way or the other. And that's what matter. If you do not love learning, if you're like, why is everything changing so much, and if you're that kind of person, this industry or any industry is not for you. Because even if you are a homemaker, right, there are gonna be trials and iterations and different, like, we also, like, both of us cook for our families, right? So even with the recipes we cook, we are gonna try different things, we're gonna try different ingredients. So there's gonna be a variation which maybe we like now, but we might not like, say, maybe 2 years down the line, but we might test something out and then we might like that and stuff like that. And plus, even, it's simple, just like the nature evolves, everything around us is going to evolve. So ultimately, that's what it all is about. And that's how it all started, with me not being happy with what I'm doing. And my boss, when I was doing the research job, he used to be so pissed with me. Like, he used to be like, you are so good at what you do, but why are you so distracted? Like, what is it that is distracting you? And obviously, I'm someone who had just finished my college. So he initially thought that I was, maybe something related to dating and guys and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, don't worry. It's nothing like that. I'm more interested in actually understanding myself first. So, it's because ultimately, you want to know yourself. And even after all these years, I have evolved as a person as well. And I'm still trying to understand who this Sush is, who is in 2024, what she wants to do, how she wants to do it, how she wants to run her business, how she wants to support her audience and stuff like that. So I'm a very curious soul, like, and I'm also someone who talks a lot. So also that.
I love that. Curiosity is something that helps us evolve, like you said, and it helps us learn new things and want to learn new things. So I know how you said everything in this industry went from A to Z. Would you say that now you're starting another journey? Because I know that you've done a lot for your clients, and it's like you went from A to Z with your business. Would you say that now it's like another path, another chapter that is starting for you and your business and your life as well, starting from a like up-leveled version?
I
And
think
if
it
so,
is.
then how?
Yeah, because like right now I'm in a phase in my life where, again, I'm loving what I'm doing, which is, we do done for you, we support our clients, we actually take the bits, like everyone, all of us do start our own businesses for a reason, but we never actually signed up and started our businesses to do the admin work. Like, I don't think any business owner signed up to run their business because, oh my God, I love admin work so much, I'm going to do that. So ultimately, what we do is we take those things which they never actually initially signed up for, so that our clients can shine in their own zone of genius. And we handle the tech, we handle the behind the scenes, and we keep it smooth for them so that they don't have to stress about it. But I've been craving for more. And plus, with, a lot of things changing in my life, like me becoming a mother and, plus me, I literally, especially in my maternity leave, to be really true, had a lot of time to think, like, what I want to do, how I want to do. And that's really when I got a moment to process my own thoughts. Because before that, it was like, okay, this project, then that project, then let's work on another project. I obviously still was curious. I was testing new ideas for myself, for my clients, getting results, but still, ultimately there are going to be some thoughts in your subconscious which you might not bring to your surface level, right? But then that was the time when, like I literally was not even on Facebook that much, because I had my husband who was handling like the front end stuff, where he was communicating with all of the clients, he was directly communicating with the team, and I was just there with me and my baby, and I was taking care of him. But then when he used to sleep, I used to have my moments, of reflections, and maybe what are the ideas I've had but I haven't actually executed. So now, what I've actually, or what we are working towards, is that we are slowly going to start getting those ideas to life, which I've had for quite some time, but I haven't really, worked on them myself, because sometimes we just, get so busy with our own to-do lists that we just don't realize we never worked on certain bits or on certain ideas. So 2024 is going to be me changing that, where I put myself in the front end apart from my client. So it's not going to, obviously, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to balance, I'm someone who is an overgiver, but now I'm still going to be an overgiver, but I'm also going to have like deadlines for my own projects, for my own stuff, so that I can be, changing things around, because I'm excited to bring those ideas to life as well. So yeah.
Mm. There is something that's happening when we become mothers and we spend time with that little baby. And exactly like you said, when they sleep, that's when you just have the time to go like on a very, very high speed, going through your thoughts and also feeling through them, because our heart is opening so much more, and we can also feel everything that we are going through with so much more intensity. And I'm so inspired by your journey, because I know that when you decided to go from that job that you were doing, the research part, because clearly it sounds like you have learned a lot there. You decided to embrace your own path of creating your business. With this, you also embrace your rebellious nature, right? And you took that with you through your journey up until this point. And it also sounds like, this is why I asked you, do you feel like you're going through from A now to another Z in your journey? Because it sounds like you decide to bring your own nature as you are into another way to
Yeah.
the world and serve the world with that. Um, so would you say that you remained a researcher at heart or a business owner at heart? Or what would you say, like if you'd say like the core thing for you,
I
what would
think
that be?
that's a very, actually a very interesting question, because ultimately, when, even though I'm not someone who is actively in the initial industry I'm in, but I'm still kind of, even if I look at the current work that I do, I'm researching, I'm analyzing, I'm, kind of, and I'm not just analyzing what my clients do, what I do, I'm also analyzing and coming up with proper, strategies and ideas about what other people are doing in the industry as well, or maybe what next steps they would be doing. So I am a researcher at heart, but it's just that my brain works in a certain way where it can connect dots very well, or it can also look at, like the bigger picture, which maybe some people might not be that easy, when it comes to looking at that bigger picture. Plus, I'm someone who also learns things very quickly, like I've had my moments with tech, or sometimes, like, even though I know tech decides to come up with its own complications, like today we had some, but but ultimately I'm someone who like learns things very quickly, or even when things are changing and shifting, whether it's a tool, whether it's the entire industry, I can grasp on things very well, and then I can convey what I've learned in a very simple, effective language, so that people can implement it. So ultimately, that makes things more easy for them, because like for a lot of people or a lot of business owners, tech is like, oh my God, that's too much. I don't know.
The
I'm
big
not great at
monster.
it. Yeah, it's actually a big monster, but when I look at it, it's more like a, chubby teddy bear or something like that who I love. And I love having fun with something like that. So that I think should paint a picture. And you
Yeah.
guys hearing my birds singing right now in the background.
They're approving of everything that you say. And from everything that you're describing, it's clear that you love what you do and you love to kind of put your sleeves up and go in there and just start
Oh
doing
my
the
God,
work.
I do that. I really do that. Like, obviously, where I'm located in Mumbai, it's hot and humid. But when it's cold or when I'm visiting a location where it's cool, I love wearing full sleeves because ultimately here we don't get to that much. But when I do, you would literally see me doing that. And I just love doing that. Or sometimes I'm even, literally taking my sleeves up like this sure as well, because it's like, okay, guys, let's do it. Come on, work on it. Look at that kind of thing.
Oh, that's so funny. And yeah, because that's what I got from your share, that type of energy. This is why I guess I mirrored it back to you, I guess, in conversation.
It's very interesting. You like literally exactly got the like feel of what I do, because that's exactly how I start. Even when I start my work days, it's not like that kind of energy. And I never wanted to have this kind of energy where it's like, oh, it's Monday, I need to work now. For me, it's like, okay, it's Monday. Come on, guys. We have this on our list. Let's handle it. And kind of I literally start with even a pep talk with my team on Mondays, because and they love it, and I initially thought, I don't know whether how they feel about it or what they feel about it, but once we were having a meeting and they were like, oh no, we love it, definitely do continue with that, we look forward to it, is the phase we are in right now. Once or twice if you don't send it, we'll be like, what's wrong, why is she not sending it, kind of like that. But it's also interesting, once they told me that I am like, I'm sweet, I'm kind, but I'm also like Miranda Priestley from Devil Wears Prada sometimes, because, and I'm like, I love that character. So thank you for, because I just love her. I adore her for who she is and what she wanted to do and how she stood in that industry. And when they said I am that, I'm like, oh my God, I never realized this, but I love this, guys. Thank you.
You see, we learn so much by interacting with people in our life, and with clients, with mentors, with everyone, with our family. And it's really interesting when we have these conversations and we learn so much about ourselves. And I know that in one of those conversations, you have learned something really interesting about yourself when you heard a message from one of your teachers who said to you that you are a diamond who
Yes.
loves to keep herself hidden. How did you feel about this message then, and how do you feel about it now?
To be very honest, when my teacher said that to my mother, I did not initially understand the depth of what he had said. It was quite many years later when, I think second or third year of my engineering. And that's when I really understood what he was saying, because I was like, oh my God, my sir was so right. I never realized this. And still till today's date, sometimes I have to remind myself, and it's more like, in our culture as well, we're taught to be so humble that sometimes we don't realize we are dimming our own sparkle. But I'm kind of changing that. I'm, owning my own power, stepping in my own power, enjoying what I love doing, talking more about it, and being just unapologetically myself. I've always been that, but still somehow in some way I've also not been it. It's a very, very slight thin veil where I can go from this to that and that to this. But yeah, definitely.
So you're feeling now like you're definitely embracing the fact
Yes,
that you are a diamond. And I know that you have your tattoo on your hand as well, which is a diamond. Is that because of the message that now it means so
yes.
much to you? Wow, that's
This
really,
is the
really good.
first tattoo I actually ever got done because I wanted to remind myself of that message. Like, because I knew sometimes that I might, like dim my own sparkle, or I might just, a visual reminder for myself, and to actually remember the person who said it. Because when he said that, I don't even remember in which standard I was in school, but it was a very big thing, and I'm so glad I did listen, or I did hear it, because if I never would have, I would never actually have realized this aspect about myself. So
Mm, that's beautiful. And would you say that your mom listening to this message, at that point, was she having any kind of expectations of your journey or of your progress? And did that message change or added to those expectations for her?
no, I think that, like, my parents are very if I have to, they're very simple beings, and they have grown up in a certain environment. So even if still sometimes, like when I was on a maternity leave, I was at my mom's place, and she would be like, well, you can still go back to your qualification work. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. Because she doesn't understand it, like she's like, you work from home. And at least now, finally, people understand work can be done from home thanks to COVID. But before that, people never used to understand this. Like, if someone asked us, like someone asked me, what do you do, are you homemaker? And I would be like, no, I run freelancing business, I work from my home. And they'd be like, work from home, what's that, like, what do you mean, what are you doing, like, you sitting at home is ultimately what you mean. And I'm like, no, I'm doing my work apart from my housework is what I'm doing, and I'm not going to explain, kind of like that. But now people understand that work can be done from home. And I now I initially when I was, doing things and getting started in the industry, I would explain a lot to people who never understood this. But now I'm like, let them be there in their element, because they understand their work, I don't. And I understand my work, which is more important. They don't need to. So simple.
So true. Now that you've been through all of these chapters, through all of these situations, what advice would you give to your son now if he would come to you and say to you, Mommy, I want to work in a way that maybe it's not familiar to you? What kind of advice or message would you share with him now?
I think, me being me, I would first try and understand what he wants to do, because I don't mind him choosing a certain career path which I don't know yet, because it might be something which he connects with at that point of time. But then I would definitely love to understand what he wants to do, why he wants to do it, and in the best way possible I can support him, I will, because I know how it feels. Like, my parents never really, like, they never actually understand if they say something which is, not that supportive, how it affects me. Because from their end, they are being supportive, they're taking care of me, they're being protective. Like, to be really true, if I have to be very honest, my parents are more protective versus being more supportive. I would rather like to have balance between me being a protective parent but yet supportive, because ultimately that's what a kid wants. You want, like, they would be like, I want my parents to support and understand, and plus be protective, that I'm taking the right decisions and helping me understand my decisions, or helping me make the right decisions. So I think I would like to be that kind of a parent myself.
What a gift. What a beautiful gift for your son, because it is really good to know that your parent is there protecting you from all of the things that may not be visible to someone of a young age, for example, because when we're young, we love
I
eating.
Yes, like I used to not understand a lot many things about the decisions they made, the things they said, even still like still, my parents are they think very differently and they have their own way of doing things, which I hate to be like, I'll be like, I'm not gonna do it this way, or I'm not gonna do it the traditional way and stuff like that. But I do understand now from where it is coming from. So I can have a conversation with them versus me throwing a tantrum that, oh my God, my parents are not understanding. So it's kind of different, but I still am in a phase where I kind of have to have a word with them, or I have to present the information in a certain way, which will connect with them so that they understand what I'm doing, why I'm doing, how I'm doing. So yeah.
Yeah, and becoming a parent also makes us feel a little bit more compassion towards our parents because we understand they
Does.
lived in a different era, different things were
Yep.
going on then, and it's just like, okay, I understand your point of view, I respect it, but I'm gonna also follow my own journey. And I know, talking about the journeys, you went from freelance marketing to coaching, and then doing a lot of done for you projects for your clients. I know that you became really successful with freelance marketing. You were very busy, but at the same time, there was a lack of connection between you and that part, the freelance marketing. What was the point that made you decide, you know what, I'm just gonna switch the gears and I'm going to start a new chapter or a new path from the freelance marketing?
I think it's more related to like sometimes what happens is, you're doing your thing and things just keep coming to you. And because they're coming to you, you stop thinking about what you really want and be like, okay, this is another opportunity. I should not miss on it. That's another opportunity you might don't want to miss on it. What if, and then that fear starts coming in that what if these opportunities stop coming? I think a lot of people sometimes do have that, but we don't really talk about it because it's like, I'm doing this, but I also want to try out that idea, and that idea is going to take some time. So we have limited time and resource, right? So the more you're going to do one thing, if you have another idea, you have to take time out for that idea too. You cannot clone yourself who would work on that another idea. So I think when I started feeling that disconnect, that now, because ultimately I wanted to do things because I want to do it versus just to do it, for the sake of it. So once I started feeling that disconnect, that this is something which is not actually making me happy, I started reflecting, and I started trying to understand that why this disconnect is coming. And I still can do the elements that maybe somehow, somewhere I felt the disconnect with now, because now I know I'm embracing all of it, because I'm embracing what I'm good at, which is, getting my team on board. And that's the reason I also started delegating, because initially when we started, or when we did not actually even had the agency, what we had was we had clients who needed tech support, and we would hire just contractors or freelancers to get things done for the other clients. But then they would not understand what I want or my quality, or stuff like that. So then I was like, okay, things need to change. This is not how my business or my brand would represent, especially when it comes to the work quality. So first, initially, I like I hired few interns, and they were then trained. And that's how the agency, actually the one which we have right now, started, where it started with few interns being hired, to now even we have like still one of that person is still working with us. the others have left. But then now it's a very core team because these are the people I really trust, and they have, proven that they are worth that trust. And that's the reason why they're part of this core team, and we're working together. And I love it because I'm supporting talent, which maybe someone else might not understand, but they have been through what similarly I have been through in some way or the other. And I'm happy to, be there for them and help them. And even they are learning as we keep working on projects and stuff. So, yeah.
Mm. And you are supporting talents while also helping your clients
Yes.
achieve their goals and all of these things. And as you're talking, expressing like how much you love all of these things, and it's clear that if you had to bring in a team, you do provide incredible work for your clients. If you were to think about all the testimonials that you've ever received from all of your clients, what would you say is your favorite thing? Like when somebody comes to you and they say, wow, this that you did helped me so much with this particular thing. What would you say it's brings you the most joy from all the testimonials that you've heard from your clients?
I think the most joy, I get from what work we do and all the testimonials, or even like the amazing messages I get. Like I've literally had clients, once we deliver them, say maybe a landing page, or, like behind the scenes, what we set up for them, we share that with them, the front end version. I've had messages like, oh my God, I'm about to cry. And that, like it's more because that is pure joy, and they love what you've done. Because what matters to me is me understanding my client's vision and me tapping into that vision, then sharing it with my team in a certain way so that they can replicate it. Because ultimately, the message is going from my client to me and from me to my team. So if I am not the right mediator, the work we do would actually not be the quality we want it to be. Because if I cannot convey the message, there's no point in doing what we are doing. So that is very important for me to connect with that vision, and then that vision being brought to life, and seeing how much joy they get when they see that vision to life is what gives me the most happiness. Because it's like, yes, I'm so happy you love it, because when they love it is when I'm really happy. Otherwise I'm like, oh my God, guys, we need to work on this.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And your role is a very important one because you're in between all of these people, and then you're at the same time the face, I mean, of your business, making sure everybody's happy with everything. So because you work with a team of people who are embracing their talents, as well as your clients who come to you for projects, for landing pages, maybe websites, maybe emails, like all of the things that you do for their launches as well. If you were to share two different messages, one for those people who have all of these talents, maybe virtual assistants, maybe people who wanna do projects for their clients, what message would you share with them? And equally, what message would you share with those business owners who struggle with putting together the puzzle pieces of their vision and then to let the world see that?
So I think if you're the talent, if you are a virtual assistant, if you're a tech VA, if you are someone who does websites, whatever, done for you, or service provider who you are, I have one thing I definitely want you to always keep in mind, which is ask questions. I see a lot of times service providers are very, very scared of asking questions to their own clients. They'll be like, what would they think about me if I ask questions? But to be really honest, the more questions you ask, the more better you're going to understand what your client wants, and the better you're going to deliver. And that's the reason why either you will also retain the client, plus that client would refer you more people as well. Like when we started our agency, I never actually had to actively promote it. We were booked out all the time because I was only getting clients via reference. Now that happens based on the work quality you deliver. And that happens because the number of questions I ask my clients. And plus I also like ask a lot of questions also because sometimes, now this is something which can be also as a tip for those who already either have their own teams or want support and want to delegate. Understand what you truly want. Like I sometimes also see business owners do the other side. They'll be like, I want this, but that's it. It would just be like one line is what they want. But if you want something truly, you have to, kind of give a bit of, like what idea you have, the vision behind it, because that's when the person who's going to help you with this is going to connect with that vision as well. And I am someone, I like, it's very interesting. A lot of my clients have told me this. They come to me with a single line, and I still can tap in that vision and connect with it and get it, like get it to life. But not everyone's capable of that. And until you don't find that person who can be someone like me, who can get the vision in one line, you have to convey your vision to the person who's going to help you. If you're not going to do that, you're not going to get the result, and then you're not going to be happy with your own investment, because ultimately when you are hiring help, you're investing in your business. So this investment has to make you happy, and for you to be happy with that investment, first you have to convey what you truly want, and that's when you'll be happy. Plus, what I also see is a lot of times people like, now this is actually what something like the other tip I maybe would share with business owners, if you are okay with.
Yes,
Sorry,
please.
like I said, I can talk too much. But one more thing I see a lot of times business owners don't do is, what they know is they need help, but they don't truly try and understand what they actually need help with, right? So, they'll be like, oh, I just need help, but what? You need help with what? Do you need help with emails because you don't like doing them? Do you need help with just setting up the emails and you will write the emails yourself? Do you need help with setting up maybe the funnel and all of those things? And then you can take it further from there. So until and unless you don't understand what you need help with now, and then maybe in the later coming time, once your business grows, you can invest in more and hire a lot more help, you're not going to actually get results. Like I see people posting, like if you are in say Facebook groups, right? I see people posting looking for a virtual assistant from so and so region or working in certain time zone. Okay, you want to hire a virtual assistant, and then there would be hundreds and hundreds of VAs commenting, but what do you need the VA for? What tasks are they going to handle? And then if you actually mention that, the right people will comment. Now that is going to save so many people's time. One, it's going to save the time of the person reading those comments, because seriously, like, why do you want to go through all of the comments when you can have specifically targeted comments and specifically targeted people coming to you? And plus, those who commented are in some way or the other going to be hopeful. I wish that person picks me up. So, there's so much happening. So try and be first clear with what you need, what help you need, then be clear with how you're going to convey the message as well. And that's when you're going to get the best results.
Mm. And if that person didn't ask themselves enough questions, then the first advice that you gave to VAs, then for them to ask those questions. And I love that because I think that sometimes even we are not like 100% clear on, okay, I have this kind of vision, but then I want to go deeper into that. And yes, we either take the time to go through it all, understand it, and there is the person who's taking in the work and then they don't move to the next step unless they also understand what's going
Yep.
on. This is incredible advice, Sushmita. I'm very grateful because our channel is for intuitive creators, and I'm sure that everything that you've shared today with us will help so many who are watching us. Thank you so, so much to everyone who tuned into this interview. I will share the link to how you can connect with Sushmita, and please do reach out to her, go to their website, to her website, to her social media platform, reach out to her. She is amazing at what she does, and she is an incredibly kind person. And I'm very grateful that I had you here in this interview today, Sushmita. Thank you so, so much for being here with us. I'm so grateful for you being here.
And thank you for having me. Like I said, I love, you know, being part of these conversations because sometimes you never know. You just, while you're answering these questions, you might come up with an idea, or you might, get back to a certain thought you might never have realized about it before, and stuff like that. So thank you for having me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, be more connected with you as well, because last one when we connected, after that we haven't been much in touch, but let's change that.
Well, you had a very busy time having the
Yes,
newborn, so I'm very grateful that we are still, in each other's spaces and we
yes,
can
yes.
still be in touch. Thank you so much for being here today with me, Sushmita, and thank you so much to everyone who is watching us. Until next time, keep embracing your beautiful intuitive creativity and just keep shining really, really bright. Thanks again. See you next time. Bye-bye.